Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. Today after the day job, I'm going to be hitting the road to check out the latest film in the superhero world, The Flash. So The Flash is based off of the comic book series known as Flashpoint. And in this story, the Flash goes back in time and tries to prevent the murder of his mother, and in doing so, changes the future and opens up an entire wormhole of crazy time shenanigans. So that's exactly what it looks like in the movie. The Flash uses his abilities to go back in time or rip into an alternate dimension, whatever the case may be, and in doing so, opens up a giant time wormhole, dimensional hole thing, and it looks like just every superhero and supervillain in the known universe is going to be coming out of some kind of portal somewhere. This film looks like it's going to be fun. It looks like it's going to be over-the-top superhero action. And I'm looking forward to it because The Flash is one of my all-time favorite superheroes. I think my list of superheroes goes Superman, The Flash, Batman, Spider-Man. I think that's my personal, lineup of superheroes. That's not getting into the X-Men and all that. That's a list for a different day, because those, I don't know if you call them freedom fighters, superheroes, the X-Men. I digress. Anyways, I should be talking about The Flash. So it's time for me to get out of here because I got some work to do, and then I am off to check out The Flash. Welcome back, just getting home, and you know what guys, I enjoyed this movie, it was a lot of fun. So let's move into it, shall we? As I like to do, we're going to start things with the negatives and then move into the positives. The big and only real negative I have with this film is that the CGI is very spotty. It has moments of greatness and then it has moments of the very opposite of absolute greatness, like ugly, muddled mess. The very beginning of this movie has what could be a very cool, very comic booky, campy kind of opening to the movie. But the spotty CGI really takes you out of it, to the point where right at the beginning of the film, I was just like, oh no, what am I in for now? Now, if they were trying to make it look cartoony, then I guess mission accomplished. But if you were trying to go for realism in that whole sequence, it did not look good. It just keeps going like that. Like I said, it'll look great, and then you'll have something that looks just god-awful terrible. So, unfortunately, the CGI in this film does kind of pull you out of it in moments. But that is really the only bad thing I have to say about this movie, is that the CGI is very spotty. Now, moving into the positives. The first thing is the story. I really liked this story. It is not a typical superhero storyline. Yes, there is a villain, if you want to say that. It does have a big CGI bombastic kind of ending to the film, but it doesn't necessarily have what you would consider a typical villain. The stakes in this film aren't typical for a superhero film, and I really enjoyed that. This was more of a, oh man, I don't even know. I think you would call it maybe a fish out of water superhero story or something, but it worked. I liked it. The story is solid. The acting in this film is also really good. I wouldn't say there was any super standout performances, except for the fact, this isn't a spoiler, it's in the freaking, trailers. Michael Keaton coming back as Batman fulfilled a childhood dream for me. Getting to see my Batman back on the big screen again took me back to being 14 again in 1989, sitting in the movie theater watching that movie on opening day. That is exactly how I felt seeing old Michael Keaton back up there donning the Batman cowl. It was amazing. And that brings me to the next positive. The cameos are fun. There are a lot of cameos. I'm not going to tell you who or what, but keep your eyes open because sometimes they're gone in a flash. Oh, God, you see what I did there? Wasn't that? No, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Okay, so anyways, moving on. The story's great. The acting is fun. The characters are really good. They do work together great. It is kind of fun watching the two Barry Allens go back and forth because what's really cool is they are very different characters. There's similarities, yes, but at the end of the day, because of the events that happen in, I guess you could say, our Barry Allen, his life, he isn't as, his personality isn't the same, basically. He hasn't lived the same life, so things are different. And it's really interesting to see how the two of them play off of each other. It really takes the whole idea of seeing one's younger self and just being like, what was I thinking? And then superpowers are involved. So, you know what, guys? At the end of the day, this is a perfectly passable, fun superhero movie that looks great on the big screen. Well, moments look great on the big screen, but at the end of the day, it's just fun. This is a popcorn movie at its heart. Alright guys, well that's all I have for you today. This is definitely a see it in theaters film. Bet if you don't get the opportunity, I'm sure it's going to be on, what is it called now? Max? Whatever it is now. HBO Max, Discovery, Calabaloo, whatever they want to call that freaking thing. It's going to have a new name next week, so whatever. Alright, well anyways, guys, I digress. It's time for me to get out of here. It's late and I am rambling. Okay, so it was great seeing y'all back here again. And if you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.